Welcome to everybody joining today. Nice to have you. Just going to wait a couple of seconds just to let people join. And I will pass over to Dexter.
Hello. We're looking forward to getting started today. We've just got a few people left to join, and then we'll get going. We'll start with a round of introductions, and then I'll explain how the session's going to go, and what we're going to cover. So we'll just give it a few more seconds, and then we'll get started. I think we're around 50 at the moment. To be fair, it looks like it's stabilizing, so I think we'll get going. So again, welcome to everybody for this Getting Started with Membership webinar. My name's Dexter, so I'm the Customer Success Manager here at ClubSpark. So I'm just going to be kind of like running through the order of today and what we're going to be going over. I'm joined here by Becky, who is the head of the customer service team, who will be running through the demo and showing you how everything works. We're also joined by Annie and Jan, who are customer support specialists here at ClubSpark. And I'm sure if you have been through the support desk, you have spoken with probably all three of them at some point. They're brilliant. And we're also joined by Emily here, who is our head of marketing. So if at any point today you have any questions, we've got the Q&A down at the bottom, and Annie and Jan will be going through those questions during the session. If there's anything that they think that we'll best to kind of cover, we'll probably cover that at the end. But feel free to put in any questions during that Q&A throughout the session. The order of play today. So I'm just going to be going over a little overview of ClubSpark. I'll then be going into the introduction to the membership module, some key elements that we think where it will benefit you and where we think you'll get the most value. And then Becky will be going through the live demo and kind of like going through all of the touch points that you can see there. So kind of like creating packages, the add-on function, how the membership module works in detail, and then kind of like how we collect payments online. So about ClubSpark. So ClubSpark provides sports management software for sports governing bodies, venues, clubs, and coaches in tennis and across multiple sports worldwide. ClubSpark is also partnered with the LTA to offer tennis venues and coaches access to the club and coach management software, which is what we're displaying today, and has a benefit of being like an LTA registered venue or an accredited coach. We also offer the product off the shelf independently to national governing bodies and to independent clubs as well. And what we believe the platform helps you do is to easily communicate with your members, offer online court bookings for your members, manage memberships online, saving you time, administer your coaching programs, building your own website and having your space online, and then creating and promoting events at your club. All really positive stuff. Membership made easy. So this is what we believe the kind of the key highlights of the membership module can do for you and your venue. So no need for membership forms. So just having all of that handled online and not having to manage that, and like all of the information coming in yourselves. Send payment requests within a few clicks. So getting kind of like chasing up the fees and making sure that everybody's paid up for their membership. Automated payment reminders, so having the system chase for you in the cases where you don't need to as well. So kind of like making sure that the members are paid. Collecting payments online again, so you're not having to chase your members independently for that. You're having the system do it for you, and then saving you hours of administration with all of these different things stacking up together. So briefly, yeah, two packages, but I'm going to hand over to Becky to then kind of like move forward.
Thank you, Dexter. That's really helpful. So, yeah, I just want to jump in here because I'm going to show you how there are two different types of memberships that you can use, and then within them there's more options as well. So we've got the fixed date membership, and that is literally when you choose everyone in your club or organization has the same start date and end date. You can have different types of fixed dates. You could do it for 6 months, or you could do it for 12 months and so on in different packages, but the same package will have the same fixed date. And then data purchase is, as it says, they purchase on that date and then they would renew whatever term you put on that. So whether that be 12 months, it'll be that they would renew, or you can have it continuous, that they continue to be a membership until they cancel. So let's go. So what I'm going to do is to jump into the live demo. So bear with me. I'm just going to jump to here. What I wanted to go through first is the website. So people on this webinar, we're not doing renewals. So some of you will have websites, some of you haven't been using it, some are brand new to Club Spark. So just to explain on how it works, you have your website and you have different modules. I'm not going to go into the different modules. I'm going to focus really on memberships today and a couple of the features that are available. So this is your membership. This is on stage that we have a test site, but it'll work the same way for you. So from your admin pages in the website module, you have the membership. This is where the packages that you create in the membership module will pull through. Just to show you, point a few things out here that you might be aware of or not aware of. You can add a image, and you can add this content here, which I'll show you where that would show. You can also choose to feature the membership module on the web front page, on your home page. So just by turning that on, and I'll show you where that shows. So I've got it turned on. I've written joined us today and a bit of spiel. I'll put something there to show you what it looks like. The other thing here is the listings. This is how you can show the different, if you have lots of memberships, this is really useful because people then can filter in whether it's a junior membership, a student or family or so on. If you only have 2 or 3, then you probably don't need it on, but if you've got more, then it would be useful. Again, I'll show you how that shows. You can also add subpages. This is what I think is really useful, to add subpages for things like your policies and your terms and conditions that people can go in and read, or writing about your benefits of what your membership offers. So whether that is as a member you get free court bookings, or as a member you get reduced coaching prices, or something like that. So that's where you sort of advertise your memberships. So I'm going to save here because I did make one change, I think. And then down here, once it's saved, and it's nice and slow for me today. We can, it's been updated, so we can view the website clicking here. So when I said about the listings, this is where you can, if you have it enabled, it would just separates them up so people can go straight to all the adult listings that we've got here, or junior. They will show all categories, is just all the long list, so you can have them, but it's just an option, an additional option that you can have there. This is where you put the spiel in about your club and a bit about the memberships. Within the memberships, and I'll show you where you can add information here, but if it's a general benefits, it's probably good to put at the top. And then I said, right at the homepage, if you have that enabled, join us today, like that membership, that just puts it in here. And this is where, again, put your spiel. So if it's just the front page people are getting, it's a really good way to advertise your memberships. And that literally just takes you to the membership module, but it's just another way of advertising. Okay, so I'm now going to move on to the different packages. So we're going to go back to the admin pages here. So I'm in the membership module, not yet, the website module, membership module here. Access to the membership module, you are either a super admin, an administrator, or a membership administrator. We have 2 different packages here. We have the fixed date packages and we have the data purchase packages. You can choose which one you want, and it's kind of up to you, and we'll show you the benefits and so on. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new fixed date package and a new data purchase package. So fixed date package is you click new package. You name your package. I'm going to do a couples package for this purpose. And it's a fixed date package. So I am going to put the date in. It's 2026 to 2027. I'm going to call it couples. This is for your own 26. Now, availability, this is if it's public, it's showing on the front end, and public, anyone can purchase it. Invite only, that is when you would send an invite to the members. It's not shown publicly, so only if you've got a link would you be able to purchase that. Hidden, that's really useful when you're creating the package and you're not ready to make it public. And archived means it's cancelled. Just a note, hidden and unavailable means no one can purchase the packages. So you have to have it. So this is a couples package, so I'm actually going to choose a group and we're going to choose 2. And we're going to change the category to couples, but again, you can choose whichever ones you want. Just for group packages. So if you want family, you can have a limit. So that would, you could put 5, and that would mean that there is a limit of 5 people in that package. It's up to you how you want to do that, or just leave it blank and it doesn't have a limit and it's unlimited. Now, minimum age, this is age verification. So I am going to say that the couples have to be 18 and above, but we're not going to put a maximum age. Summary here, you need to put something in, but couples living in the same household. You can put a bit more, that's probably more eligibility as well, but I'll just put. Now, then you can add tags here. So I would put couples 26, and so when they purchase a membership, that's going to be showing in their contacts. And if I wanted a membership, I do that. You can choose whatever you like in there. So we're doing a fixed date. So we're going to do same dates for each package. Most people, but everyone's different. It's up to you. I'm going to do it from the 1st of April. And the membership end date is going to be the 31st of March, 2027. But again, you can choose whatever dates you want. Grace period. This is what is added on at the end of the package, and it is useful if you want to give people a bit of a leeway because to purchase. It's up to you if you want to do it. So you could add 14. It would basically mean that they could mass is my greatest, but like it would be the 14th or 15th of April that they would then lapse 2027 if you put 14 here. Payment methods. So you can choose whichever payment methods you like. We recommend using online transactions because that allows you to have a better, it automates the system and it takes away your pressures and so on. It's up to you. We have 2 different options. We have Go Cardless and we have Stripe. They do have different transaction costs. Stripe is a more superior dashboard and a better product, much easier to use than Go Cardless. But Go Cardless is slightly cheaper, and there are benefits of that. Just so you know, if you sign up to Go Cardless now, apparently they're offering 90 days of free transactions from their side. So it might be a good year to do that and to benefit from that. I'm going to select both of these, but I do recommend only choosing one. It just saves you like having different options and having money different places. If you offer cash or other or backs, you can select them, but you would then manually have to go in and mark them as paid. We'll come back to that, so we'll leave that. You can, even if you just chose, say, Stripe, you can still manually add payments if someone doesn't want to use it or hands you cash or the core or whatever. You can still do that. You don't need to offer it as an option. Here we go. We add the cost of the new members. So we're going to say it's 500 for new members and 500 for renewals. If you choose a cheaper price for renewals the year later, then they can pay a cheaper price. And I can show you how that works. Then we can also offer installments. So we're going to say it's £50 a month. And we're going to offer 12 monthly payments. Here, just so you know, a bit like council tax is 10 months of the year, but you have it for 12 months. So this would still, because it's a fixed date, if you wanted to only take payments 10 months a year, then you would take that and then the last 2 months would be free. It's up to you. And obviously you would adjust your monthly statements. Here you can choose how their installments would be paid. So either they'd pay date of purchase and then it would be prorated, or if it's the first of the month. So say they signed up today, it's the 17th, then they won't be paying and start their payments until the 1st of March. The next thing we've got is payment reminders. Now this is after the payment. So this is they've expired on the 31st of March 2027 and they haven't renewed, although you've sent them a payment request before, then they will get reminders if you select them 7 days, 14 days and 21 days. Some people select 2, it's up to you again. If they have paid, they won't receive a reminder, obviously. It's only if they haven't. And then we save the package. We're on a test platform, which is always a bit slower than a normal one. So that's it. Okay, so at this point here, you can manually add a member if they're already in your venue, in your club contacts, or you can import members. If you click import members, we provide a template that you can add here, download, put the details in, and then you can import it in. Equally, if you have other packages, you can import it from another package. Just so you know, couples memberships is slightly different. It's obviously there is a pair. There will be a main contact, and then there'll be the partner. They can both book courts, and they'd both be eligible to do that. So that is creating a fixed date package. So the next thing is I'm going to go through is a date of purchase package. So to create a date of purchase package, it looks very similar. And I'm going to do this one. So data purchase package, and I'm going to create a continuous package. I'm just going to call it juniors. Let's do that one. Continuous. Okay, and then we're going to just call them juniors, DOP. That's open to anybody. It's an individual. It's going to be a junior. And so we are going to do age limits here. So I'm going to make them from 10 to 18. I'll put a summary in here. You put your eligibility in here. I'm not going to spend too much time to do this. Junior DOP. So when you're doing a data purchase package, because we're doing it continuously, you're not going to renew it every year. And we're going to do data purchase package. So here, this is where you leave it as continuous, no end date. And it just means that it keeps going until they stop. You can choose, with these installments, you can't obviously choose backs or so on, because we just wouldn't know every month if they're paid or not. So then that's when your payment methods are only options are either the Go Cardless or Stripe. You can then set it as pay installments, because the pay in full is not available. So it's only a pay. So it's £15 a month. And you can do payment date on date of purchase. This is really helpful because once this is set up, it's just set up and it's up to them to then come through. Payment reminders, there really isn't, because they're not there, although the option is there. If you can still do data purchase, but you can still have a term length, I change that to 12 months, then you can have a payment in full, installments. You choose how many monthly installments they are, and then that's when you get renewals, automatic renewals and reminders. So they can stay on the same package. I'm just going to go back to saying continuous. This is quite useful. Sometimes people use as guest dates and so on. The shortest duration of a package is 2 weeks at the moment. Let me see if I can save that. Okay. So data purchase, here we go. We're just going to show you how to add a member manually. So you could import members. If they're already in your system, then with junior packages, you obviously need to add the main contact, which is the adult, and then the junior. The reason we do that is legally, you're not meant to email juniors under the age of 13. So that's why they have a main contact, and then junior. So this is where it's important that there is a main contact. So you can just put in their details and so on. Just for the speed of time, I'm going to choose a Dexter. He's going to be the adult. And then the junior, you've got an Izzy, have you? Yeah. As a junior, and then we're going to save. What that does is that's basically added them to this membership package. As you can see, they're currently showing as pending and they've not paid. What we can do is we can request a payment. What this is going to do is pop up and it's going to send an email to the parent and ask them to pay. And at that point, then they'll be able to pay. So we just send that and it gives them a link. And I'll show you how. And that's literally how you do payments and adding members. What we can do is I'm going to go to a package where I've got slightly more people. And this works the same whether it's a date of purchase. So for this one here, this is a new package I've created. I've got 10 members. And to send them a payment request in bulk, I select all of them. I click on the 3 dots and I click payment. This then sends, you can show recipients. There's 7 because some of us have the same emails on this, but it should be all the different emails. If someone's got the same email as someone else, then it won't send double, if that makes sense. So we've got here, and this is a reminder to apply for these payments. And then you request the payment. Okay, let me just check what my list. Okay, the next thing to know is membership settings. So in your membership module, down the left-hand side, you've got the settings. Now, this is important for a couple of reasons. When you're setting up your packages, if you do take offline payments, you have a choice. You can either do it so from the front end, they can automatically just be marked as active. So perhaps you take membership elsewhere or so on. So when they come through and they do renewals, you can say automatically set members to active when they sign up. Or, which is what most people want to do because they want to make sure the payment's been received, whether that be a check or BACS payment, then admin, you'll need to come in and manually set them as paid because you'll have to add in the payment and also mark them as active. And so that's where this setting is here. So manually set to active when the payment's received. The next one is data purchase packages. So if you use data purchase packages, you've got 2 choices here. So if you did the fixed term, sort of a data purchase, so 12 months, for example, when it comes to the next year, they're sent an invite to renew, and it's up to them when they renew. Now, we all know everyone's a bit late and so on in doing so. You can choose whether that goes back to the date they expired. So if they expired on the 17th of February, then they're paying on the 20th of February, the start date actually is renewed on the 17th of February if you do it on the date of purchase anniversary. If you select renew on the date of purchase, then they would then ultimately pay on the 20th of February, and that will be their new start date. So you kind of lose those days in between. So most people choose on the date of purchase anniversary. This is the confirmation settings. This is where you put your information for the packages. Once they've purchased the packages, it will pop up and you can put in a bit more about what there's going to happen next or so on. And then terms and conditions here. This is where you add your terms and conditions. If you don't add them here, there won't be any for your venue. But if you do, then it will be compulsory that they accept your terms and conditions as part of the membership renewal process. So I'll show you where that is when I get there, but that's where you add them and you can remove them and you can update them. They will always say the same label and so on. So we can save the settings, any changes there. Right, a couple of other things that we have that you might not be aware of. So as part of the membership process, we have something called product add-ons. And this is where, as a venue, you can then sell other options. So that's in your payments module. And if you click on products. Now this is used for some people, like, you know, if you have a key, Clubhouse key or something, a deposit that you want to collect from the members. Maybe you sell a bit of merch, club hoodie or some tennis balls or anything really. Some people use it for guest fees and so on. So you can add a product at the moment, and then you can add that to the membership packages. So for example, I've got the Clubhouse key and the club hoodie. So because I've just created a new package, oops, for the couples package, I can select which packages that it's available for. So I'm going to select all, and now it's available there, and we save the product, and that's now available for all of those packages. I'll do the same. Adding a product really quickly, I'm not going to go through it too much. You basically a product name. So no, some people also like to do donations. 25. Put in a description. Put in a, I don't know, a package. And then a price. And then you choose which packages. I'm just going to select all and save that. So I'll show you how that looks as well. So that's the product add-ons. And the last thing, I'm not going to go too depth is consents really quickly. You go to your profile module. Consent is where you can add questions to people. Now they're not mandatory. So we've got here, do you give consent to be added to the WhatsApp, for example? Or we've also got permission to use photos taken at them to put on our social media. And I'll show you how they appear as well. So you can, when new people sign up, then they would consent and it would show in the contacts module. So I'm going to jump to the members, how a new member would sign up to your platform, to your memberships. So from your front end page, they would come in here and said they can click on this one, which takes them straight to the membership module, or along the top. We're now very mobile friendly, so it should be shows slightly different. It will have a hamburger. Now I am signed in already, but if they haven't, then they will be asked to sign in automatically. If you're using the LTA platform, then they have to use an LTA login, single sign-on. If you're using other platforms, depending on which organization you are, we have single sign-on, or if you're using our independent platform, then it's just an email and password. So won't go back to being signed in, but just to show you how this works, this is where all the memberships are showing. I'm going to come through here to join now. So they've got an adult. They're all, you wouldn't have quite so many as me. Let me just sort of see if I can join as a couple. So first of all, it puts the purchaser's details in. This is the terms and conditions. So this is where I said that will show membership terms. These are the ones that you've added in the membership settings. So they're there. If you try to continue, it won't allow you. You have to agree to the terms to continue. This goes to your memberships. So normally I have quite a lot of people. So as we said, the couples membership, I did make it as 18 and over. So if they're not 18 and over, then they won't be eligible to join. So I'm going to select myself. And because it was a couples membership, I can select up to 2 people can be added to this package. So I'm also going to take man ward. And then continue to add-ons. The add-ons are the products that I talked about that we've added. If you don't have any products, then it won't show, and that will skip straight to payment. So at this point here, if you've added add-ons, you can choose. They can purchase the Clubhouse key, and however many they want. This is the donations that I just created. So I said it was 15, so they could pay that, and it will be added here in a minute. And then a club hoodie, for example. They need payment. Oops, I didn't add them on. Don't worry about that. And then it would be added on there. But this payment here is when you've got those options of payment. This is where they can choose. So if we chose Stripe, I'll click here and to confirm. And this is in the test platform, so we're going to go to a test Stripe page. It's going to skip through a bit quicker, but in theory. If they've used Stripe before, they might have a product called Link already set up, which makes it very easy that all their details are already there. It should auto-populate as well. So here it knows my card, and it has all those details. Equally, you could add a new card. I can do Google Pay as well. So if I wanted to change my bank card, I can change it and so on. That's as simple as it is, and it's now paid. Just going to come out of there. I should get a confirmation page. This is where you can put your information. I didn't put any in, so it's blank, but this is where you can put in your confirmation. Sorry, no, it's down here. And you can add more information. And that's that there. So that's as easy it is to pay. I'm going to just jump quickly back to my membership. Because I've paid on Stripe online, it will automatically have updated my status to paid in here. So if we go down to the couples membership that I just set up, these are the two members. I'm main contact is me. You can click on that. And you can see that I paid, the date I paid. If I wanted to refund, I could refund. And I'm showing as paid here, and I'm also showing as active. I think that is it from me. Dexter, have I missed anything major? Oh, sorry, last thing is emailing. So you can email from all the different platforms, so in the modules. So if I wanted to let me just go to one that has slightly more people. From the membership module, we can come here and we can choose our members. So in bulk, I can just click here and send an email. And then that information would go here. Ignore that it's only saying 3. It's because we've got lots of test data in here and we all use the same emails. So hello. And you can put information in here and we can send that. All of those emails then can be seen in your email log, which is this little envelope up the top. And you can use filters. So today, those emails that I've just sent is hello, has gone to these people here. You can see in the status, if they've been opened, they will say opened, if they've been read. If they're just sent, they've been delivered. And if they've been blocked, that's another thing which you need to contact the help team for that. Okay, I think I've talked quite enough now. I'll move it over. I'm seeing some questions coming in. I'm just going to run through this again. So why use the membership module in ClubSpark? It's an improved checkout. It just means that your members don't need to then go and pay backs or find payment, and the administrators, it's all done, and it will just save so much time. And we know that time's very precious. A lot of you are volunteers, and having it all automated and within the system is there. It saves time for your members too. Most people do now expect to pay online for things, and so it's all there for you. The add-ons module is a really good way of making extra revenue for your venue if you wanted to. We have subscriptions, so people can change this, like have it monthly, and makes tennis much more affordable if you're offering installments for your members. We have the move member feature, which I didn't really show you, but is possible to move members from one package to another. The age validation, which I showed you, and also you can refund within the platform. Talked a bit about this, auto renewals, automations, and so on. Briefly, I'm going to talk about fees. I said Go Cardless, so the ClubSpark and Go Cardless do both take a transaction fee as does Stripe, and we lay that all out for you. There's a help article called "What are the costs of ClubSpark," which you can look at a bit more in depth. Just so you know, if you are going to sign up for Go Cardless, do make sure they have different tiers. What percentage we've given here, the 1%, is available, but it is their lowest tier. So if you need to know which tier you're getting to know which Go Cardless transaction fees you will have. There are some other things to notice. If people use international bank cards, both of them will charge more for transaction fees. Finally, come to where we are. We're here to help. We've got our customer support team. We have live chat available, and that is from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. every day, Monday to Friday. There's a little help button down the bottom of your page. That's where you can access our help articles and also raise queries with us. The support centre, we've got loads of articles, videos and help guides, so please use that. And then obviously you've joined us for a webinar, but we also do individual smaller clinics with 10 to 15 people at the moment, which you can also sign up for. Okay, probably had enough of my voice. I'm going to pass go over quickly to Dexter. Have we got any questions that we wanted to ask?
Thank you, Becky. We've got a few that are kind of being answered in the Q&A section. I think Annie and Jan are handling it. I think if anybody has got anything that they'd like just a little bit of verification on, you can pop your hands up, and then Emily can kind of let you speak, and then we can maybe kind of give a little bit more clarity on anything. But other than that, I think we'll kind of let Annie and Jan answer the questions that are in the Q&A. Unless anybody has their hands up and they want to kind of get any clarification on anything else that Becky has said.
So just there is going to be a recording. We should have said that at the beginning, and we will share that. We've also put previous recordings, which was about the membership renewals, which is a bit more complex. This is really for the brand new users of the membership module. They are on our website, but we're also going to send out comms in the next day or so. So you'll get them with the links, and also loads of these questions that have come up. I've pulled together an FAQs for you all. Our company doesn't have a company number. You don't need a company number. There's have a look at our guide, setting up with Stripe. I think we cover that there. Yeah, you don't need a company number. There is a way around it if you are a sports venue, and Stripe can help you with that. We have lots of people using that.
Becky, can you just go back one slide? I think someone wants to just have a look at the costs, so I can take a screenshot.
Yeah, as I said, we've got this and even more laid out. It's called what are the costs of ClubSpark, and it's in our help articles as well.
Okay.
John Lee, I'll just take that one. Best way to create a guest members and fee administration. So if you use the membership, the court booking, you can have guest fees on your court booking. I won't go through it now, but you can do that. Equally, if you want to do guest fees, if you know who they are, you can send invoices through the payments module now, and you can create a subscription. We're also bringing out very soon a new feature that you can send guest fees from payments from the booking module as well. So that will be coming.
Okay, we've got a couple of other questions in there. John Beach, yeah, I think we have got the renewals webinars that are available, and I think that'll be really beneficial for you, just to go over kind of what that process looks like. Becky's going to do that in detail. So we can send out kind of like the links to that after the call, and that'll be super beneficial for you.
Yeah, we did one on Tuesday last week, wasn't it? And I did two actually. They're about an hour, but they're worth watching. And as I said, they're on our website now, on our help desk. So, and we'll also be sending them out. So I think they'll be useful. Is there a way to send direct invitations to special case such as life members? Absolutely. So a lot of people set up honorary memberships. You can edit what I didn't show you. I could just really quickly show that in the membership module. So you can either edit a cost and send that individually to people. If so, if you want to offer a discount for your volunteers or your coaches or so on, but you want to keep them in the same package. So I'm just going to show you for couples. So say Dexter, I'm going to add Dexter real quick. Okay, so I'm gonna just add him manually here. Now, at the moment, the package costs £500, but for Dexter, because he's so helpful and done so much around the club, I'm going to edit him, and he can actually join for 250. And you can edit that, and if he wanted, he could pay £10 a month. You can change that cost. That is now there. So then when I send Dexter a request for payment, he will receive it and it will be 250. So he'll pay, it then would show as paid. Now, if I didn't edit that cost and he only paid 250, he would show as part paid. So that's the way to do that. It is manually done, and it is for different members, because it automatically does it. So yeah.
Okay, just looks like Annie's answering one question, which she's just finished, and now not see any more open. We'll give it a couple seconds just to see. Oh yeah, there we go.
In settings, I've chosen to manually set members to active when a payment's received. Does the confirmation email go out when a member renews online, only when I've marked as paid? Then no, they'll get a confirmation that they've signed up, but they won't get another one when you manually mark them as paid. That's just internally for you, and then that obviously then being made, you can, if you have it settings for members only to book your courts or to have a discount, is only when they have an active membership when you've manually done that. So yeah, they won't get a second email. Pro rata manually, yeah, so that's really, really good. So if you use fixed date packages, the way to pro rata manually is to go through, and you'd have to just change the cost of the payment. Don't change the start date, just change the cost of the payment going forward. That won't affect any of your current members. That only changes the cost for your anyone new coming in. So you just change the price of the package. What I didn't say, in date of purchase, and say you have continuous, at times you're going to want to change the cost because it's going on for years and so on. So there is a way to do that. So I'm just going to jump quickly to change the cost here in this package. So these members here, they're paid and so on, but I now want to change the cost. You do that by selecting all of those current active players, and you click change cost. And here I've only got one participant. At the moment it's £15. I'm going to now change it to 20. They will then get an email saying that their cost is going to go up. This change they'll be informed that there's going to be an increase in the subscription. They get an email, and the next payment it will go up. So that's how you change the cost for continuous payment members. But for a pro rata, you literally just go in, edit the package and change the cost. Anyone purchasing from that day onwards will then pay the new cost.
Okay, looks like we've got a question from Fred. Now, Sinead.
Oh, Fred, I'd lovely regards average UK membership fees, and I think I can't. I think the LTA might be able to help you with that one, but it's so different. It really depends on the facilities, on what your club offers. So we have lots of people who pay a free membership, but they have to pay £25 to play on those courts. So it's really very difficult for me to give details. We do have a Facebook page where you might be able to get some others. Also, your regional reps at the LTA, if you're a tennis venue, they should be able to know, and you can have a look at your local clubs basically to see if you're similar. Okay, Pauline, if you pay by Go cardless and Stripe, where does the transaction fee appear? So that's just internally. So we take it at source. So you'll be able to see that on your dashboards, on the Stripe dashboard or the Go cardless dashboard. It's taken at source. So if you should know, you can work out using our calculations how much the membership transaction fees are going to cost, and you can put that on top of the fee. So it doesn't come out of the club's money, Brilliant. Okay. Trying to keep this to 45 minutes, so it's slightly gone over. So I think we've done really well with lots of questions. As I said, we will send out a recording, and we will send out a list of the frequently asked questions, which has come up in these clinics and these webinars over the last few days. So hopefully they'll be helpful for other people. We're here to support. We know it's a busy period for everyone, so we look forward to supporting you over the next few months.